You like Banta, Robbins? You like Banta?
Wanna Fanta? Don't you wanna Fanta?
Is that like an old 80s commercial? I'm not familiar.
You don't remember that commercial? It was like early 2000s, I think, for Fanta. And they had like
Mm,
all the girls, like each girl's in a different colored dress, and according to
ooh.
whatever Fanta they had. So they had like the purple, red, blue, yellow, and they were all wearing dresses, and they were all like they look like the Spice Girls, and they're all like wanna Fanta? Don't you wanna Fanta?
I don't fucking remember that at all.
Really?
I don't.
That's weird.
No, I remember one time in the early 2000s, McDonald's has always had different commercials where they play some bops. And I remember one time one of these commercials came on, and my dad, who is like the most like epitome of a tough guy,
Mm.
like the toughest, like if you could looked up tough guy in the dictionary, you would see a picture of my dad. His blood sugar's low because he's also diabetic.
Uh-huh.
He just starts fucking dancing in the middle of the living room, just like old white dude dancing to this fucking McDonald's song. And I was like 6 years old, and
What
I already knew who my dad was. And I was like, I'm so scared right now.
what
Dad snapped and we're all about to die.
what McDonald's commercial was it?
I have no idea. They don't play the song anymore. It's one of those where they were advertising something. Um, you know what? It might have been the filet of fish song, to be honest. Give me that filet of fish. Give me that fish. Ah!
I think I do remember that. I remember
Yeah.
Hootie doing the tender crisp bacon cheddar ranch.
Old Darius Rucker.
Yeah.
Big Darius Rucker fan, man.
The
Fucking
tender
love
crisp
Hootie.
bacon cheddar ranch.
Fucking love Hootie, dude. Hootie doesn't get enough recognition. He should have, when he went solo, he should have gone by Hootie.
I haven't heard any of his solo stuff at all.
Me neither, because it's country music, and I don't fuck with country
Me
music.
neither. I mean, he's got a good voice. I love his voice,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't do country. Like, I can do old country. Like, I can
Yeah.
listen to it if it's on, but it's not like I seek it out.
Even old country, if it has to be Johnny Cash or John Denver, or I'm probably not going to be into it.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, I'll listen to some stuff that's like, I'll listen to old, like, Willie Nelson, stuff like that. Like, I can stomach it, but any
okay.
country made after, like, 1988, I guess, or 85, like, I can't really stomach, especially,
Yeah.
like, when it started getting all, like, pop and, like, bubblegum
Yeah.
pop. Like,
That's
it's
all it
all
is
the
now.
same.
It's pop music with a fake country accent because these
Yeah.
guys are like from Ohio.
Yeah.
You're not fucking country. You're not even from the South.
Yeah.
If you weren't on the wrong side of the Civil War, you can't sing country music. That should be a rule.
All right, I got everything going good. So whenever you're ready to start, I'm ready.
We can go ahead and start. I'm staring the ad read right in the face hole here.
All right. All right. If we're ready to go in three, two, one, go.
Are you managing a venue or putting together an event that needs a little more entertainment? Aquarius Productions can put a show together catered to your audience. Whether it's music or comedy, they will bring life to the space you provide. Are you a traveling musician or comedian looking for an extra gig? They can find a spot for you. Are you an up and comer unsure of how to get your song mixed, your music video put together, or your set filmed? Aquarius has your back. Message their Facebook or Instagram for details. Make sure to stop by the District Green in downtown Biloxi for a boatload of art and fun this month. The last Sunday, as always, you can find Zach and Patty hosting a music and comedy open mic starting at 6:30. July's show will be co-hosted by Scott and Mandy Anderson of Red Radio Productions, whose Music and Arts Festival will take place on July 31st in the very same location. Both Zach and Patty will be performing there along with an incredible lineup of talented musicians, with buskers and painters making their own magic happen on the sidelines. Get your tickets now. And as well, this episode is brought to you by that dirty motherfucker, BJ DeBlow. He knows what he did. He would have started his own podcast, but he was too chicken shit.
Yeah, that guy. That guy, BJ DeBlow, he knows what he did. Ooh, it's Wednesday, and you know what time it is. It's time for the Open Micers podcast. My name is Jason Robbins.
I'm the country music of stand-up comedy, Jacob Craig.
Don't put yourself too down on your comedy like that.
Yeah, because then no one's gonna want to look me up or listen to me or anything when I put out like an album on Spotify that no one asked for. Like no one's gonna want to stream it.
Yeah.
Today our guests are each other.
Well, we're our own guests this week.
That's right. We talked a while ago and we said, you know what, we should make time each month to have a host episode and just talk to each other about each other and about other things because we like talking to each other. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's always fun. We hate it when guests pull out, but a silver lining whenever a guest pulls out is we get to just do our own episode, and it's a lot of fun most times.
Yeah, I want to talk about one of our patrons, old BJ DeBlow. You know, as long as we've known that guy, I never knew his first name was Bear.
It's not. It's a nickname.
That's a nickname too? Like he has a nickname of a nickname.
Yeah.
How does that
work?
No, write us in, BJ. Like how do you get away with having a nickname off a nickname?
Look, I know he listens to us on Patreon since he's a Patreon supporter. He listens to us whenever we come out. So he's going to text me later with this information, hopefully.
And maybe next week we can divulge that information. Like how are you so damn cool you get two nicknames off of one another?
Yeah. He told me his real first name one time, and I forgot it. I instantly forgot. I don't know his real first name.
I'm the same way. Somebody can tell me their name, and it will just immediately just like, it does not stick. It's like, just right through the head, doesn't stick. And here's the thing, like over the past, since I've been in the entertainment industry, like as a musician, whatnot, whatever, I get recognized for things in public, especially like at the height of, fall as well. Like I couldn't go anywhere without getting recognized. Like people come and be like, "Hey man, dig your band," like, just whatever. Like, and I still to this day get recognized for different stuff. And I still see people that I see all the time that I've become kind of friendly with, and like, I have no idea what their name is. I'm just like, "Hey man, how you doing? Good to see you."
Yeah, I do the same thing. People recognize me, for things, and they'll be like, "Is that the man who touched you?" And they'll be like, "Yes," and then I have to run, and it's a whole thing.
What's up, Rampage in the chat room?
But I remember.
See, here's the thing: you have to have a thing like say you're out with your girlfriend, or I'm out with my girlfriend. Like there's this rule that we have to where if somebody approaches me and is like, "Hey man, how you doing?" and I act friendly with them, just immediately introduce yourself. Like don't wait for me to do it, because that pretty much means I don't remember their name. And if she has to introduce herself, that means I don't remember your name at all. And I'm trying not to be rude. So that's how I get their name without sounding like a dick. Like, yeah, I know I've seen you like 100 times, but I don't remember your name.
Luckily, whenever anyone comes up to me anywhere, even if it's just a friend from high school or something, my girlfriend just stares at them like they're fucking stupid for knowing me. She's like, "Who the fuck are you?"
And I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just... names don't stick with me. Faces, I can meet somebody one time and be able to remember them like 50 years from now. But names, I don't even remember names of some of my family members. Like seriously, like I'm just like, what's that dude's name again? Like it's
I'm right
awful.
there with you.
It's awful, and I don't know what it is. I can't change it. I mean, I'm 44 years old. I'm never gonna. That part of my brain to remember people's names never developed. And it's not going to, so I just have to roll with it.
Yeah, I am the same exact way. There are family members who, like, I don't know their names, and my mom will be like, "Hey, this person died."
Yeah.
I'll be like, "Who's that?"
Dude, don't feel bad. I'm the same way. Like, my parents will, like, out of the blue text me and something be like, "Hey, your aunt Barb from somewhere up in North Mississippi. Yeah, she passed away. I'm like, I don't know who this person is. I'm sorry.
See, I'm a little more savage. I'm like, I don't care. I don't fucking care. I've never met this person in my whole life, and 90% of my family are racist pieces of shit. This is probably a racist piece of shit. I don't give a fuck. I
Yeah.
don't care.
I mean,
And I'm sure they'll feel the same way when I die too.
there are certain family members that I do like, and know, and like I don't see them often, but I only see them like once every 10 years or so. But I'll be like, hey, be
Yeah.
friendly. Like, hey, how you doing? I would be sad if they passed away, but there's just people in my family. Like, I'm just never. I don't care about them. I mean, not trying to be a dick, but there's a lot more people that have my attention than I care about, than people that it's almost like I should feel. I think it's like the way my brain works is like I should feel bad because I don't reach out to these people because they're my family, you know, and try to be like, hey, we're family. We should, at least conversate every once in a while. But hey, the phone works both ways, whether it's social media or
Right.
trying to get in touch with me. Like it goes both ways. So if I die, I don't expect them to come to my funeral. Like, just because your family doesn't mean you know one another.
Yeah, right, absolutely. I know the first funeral I ever went to, I felt very guilty because my Aunt Diane died. I love my Aunt Diane. She was a very sweet old lady, and she actually wasn't even that old, but she had a very rough bout with cancer that made her seem much older than she was.
Yeah.
And she passed away, and I didn't go to her funeral because I was like 14 years old or something
Mm.
like that. And this was the first person that I actually cared about that died. And so I didn't know how to react. I was like, yeah, I just don't even want to go. I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I just want to stay home. And then my Uncle Gene, her husband, died not long after. He followed her. And I went to his funeral. I've never met that motherfucker in my entire life. I was so I was so uncomfortable. Everyone was crying. I was like, "Oh no, my dad's dead. Oh no, Uncle Gene." I was like, "That's a dead body." Like, I don't know that person. The only time I've ever laid eyes on this motherfucker was him dead in his casket. And
Yeah.
I really wish I would have just gone to my aunt's funeral instead of his.
And I feel like the older I've gotten, like the less, I don't know, like back when my grandparents were alive and I was a kid, like we always used to have like these big family get-togethers all the
Yeah.
time, on holidays, like every holiday, Easter, July 4th, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all the big holidays. We'd like have these huge family gatherings. And now that my grandparents are gone, it's like nobody cares. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like I don't want to have to deal with like 40 or 50 people that I don't know, at Thanksgiving. Like, I'd much rather just like be with, my parents and, just a small amount of people and not like a bunch of freeloaders from out of state,
Right.
coming in, eating up all my leftover turkey. Like, I don't want it. I don't want it. And that's
Yeah. I
weird.
mean,
Like, I feel like family is not that big a deal these days. Like, I feel like people care more about like their chosen family than their own
yeah.
family.
Oh, absolutely. Because I mean, you choose to be a companion with somebody, and then you develop feelings to the point where it's like, yeah, I think I would take a bullet for this person.
Yeah.
That's much stronger than being like, oh, we're your dad's my brother. Cool.
Yeah.
Like, I don't fucking care. I
Like,
don't care about
seriously, like if it was Thanksgiving and I wanted to have a big family dinner, like I would invite all my friends and stuff, like you and Wally and like, all my close friends come over. Like my extended family, like, no, I don't know you
you. Yeah.
people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like, I mean, with my family, it feels like it's like three factions almost, like trying to come together for peace talks.
And it's even worse when like there's divorces and stuff, and then you got like
Oh
new
yeah.
family. Like when I was married, my ex-wife, her parents had been divorced and remarried 4 times each. That was a lot of family to deal with and have to
Yeah.
keep up with. Like there were times like I remember one time me and my wife had been together for like 4 or 5 years and stuff, and I'd just been around her family all this time. And I remember I had it tried went to introduce one of her sisters, like one of the out of state sisters, and to somebody and forgot her name. Like there was another. I'm just like, I'm such an idiot. Like I'm so stupid. And she was like, "Does Jason remember my name?" And she's like, "Probably not." That's
Oh,
just me in a
and now
nutshell.
you don't regret it anymore.
No, I don't at all.
And I because fuck that bitch.
I
Oh,
still,
we never even,
yeah. Let's get off that topic.
yeah, I was about to say because we've never even personally talked about your divorce. I just know that your ex-wife is a very bad person. That's the extent of my knowledge.
No
That's all I
comment.
know about it.
No
That's
comment.
all I need to know. That's all I need to know is that your ex-wife's a horrible person, and thank God you didn't have kids together.
Yeah, no kids, thankfully.
Um, Walking back a little bit, I remember the first time I got recognized in public. It blew my mind because I had this great streak in 2019 where I was doing tons of open mics
Mm.
around Biloxi, Ocean Springs, whatever, tons of
Yeah,
mics.
that was the hot
Uh,
time. That
yeah.
summer of 2019, I remember we were doing mics all over the place.
Oh, tons of mics, man. And not so many book shows, but I was doing book shows too. And I remember like someone recognized me in the grocery store, but no one remembered my name. And I remember someone recognized me in the grocery store. I was like, "Oh, you're that kid." I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm that kid." And then like I went to a concert that my brother was doing. I went to one of my brother's concerts, and some friends of their drummer showed up, and they were like, "Hey, you're that kid." And I was like, "Yeah, I am that kid." Like I kept running into people that had seen me, and I remember this guy came to a show where I was opening for Michael Hall from New Orleans at the Wayward Kraken. And a lot of people actually from that show showed up to see me. But this one guy showed up with his girlfriend. Not a creepy guy. His girlfriend was smoking hot. Normal guy. He came up to me while I'm standing in the back watching. I don't even remember who was up before me, but I was watching somebody, and he was like, "Hey man, did you go up yet?" I was like, "No, I didn't go up." He's like, "Oh, that's awesome, man. I came to see you. I'm a fan." I was like, "You're a you're a fan of of me?" It's like, "Yeah, man. I can't wait to see you." Blah, blah, blah. And like we talked a little bit. We talked a little bit after the show, and I got so like my ego got so inflated that I started referring to myself as local celebrity Jacob Craig, which has kind of stuck as a joke since then because no one knows who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
Like no one cares. Like I did a show in Mobile the other night, opening for Ginny Zagrino, our best friend actually, and they introduced me to come on stage like, "Hey, somewhere from Mississippi, here's Jacob Craig," and then I do a joke where I reference my own name at the end of like a list of gay porn star names,
Yeah.
and like that's the funny joke is that I say that I'm a gay porn star,
Yeah.
and there's just dead silence because no one. By the time they introduced me to that bit, everyone already forgot what my
Yeah.
name was.
Yeah, yeah. I think for that bit to work, you might have to work your name in like multiple times throughout
See,
the.
I just assume that people will know. Like, I just got introduced 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like that joke works when people know your name. So like,
Yeah,
I think if you're big enough to have like a Netflix special, like or
yeah,
something like that, that
yeah,
joke
that'll
is
work.
gonna rock. That's a hard joke to do when most people are like us. They're not gonna remember your name 2 seconds after they say it.
That's true. Which luckily that joke has a punchline at the beginning and a punchline at the end.
Yeah,
So
that's a good
and a
joke though.
punchline, yeah. The saying my name's like the middle punchline. That joke has like three different punchlines
Yeah,
because I'm an impeccable joke writer, Jason Robbins.
yes you are. You're
I
you're a
mean,
great joke writer, sir.
thank you. I appreciate it, buddy. You'll get there one day.
Yeah, I know. Maybe.
Um, uh, Dude, I saw this might we might be dipping our toes into hot water here a little bit,
Oh yeah.
maybe. but I saw today. I know we were talking about. I don't know if you remember this. I mentioned to you Comedy House New Orleans, the newest like only comedy club that opened up in New Orleans,
Mm-hmm.
and they do their open mic on Wednesdays. I was like, man, we gotta like change the show day one day, like to go over to this hit this open mic at this new comedy club or whatever.
Yeah.
I read an article today about the owners of this place that is not flattering at all.
Like
It's
what? I
so
mean, is it
apparently,
something we can say? Because we don't want to get like, you
oh
know.
no, it's something we can say for sure because we didn't do this. These people did this.
Yeah, but is this
So
true though?
I do believe it is because it resulted in the collapse of a few comedy clubs.
Really?
So if it's not true, then I don't know why these comedy clubs
Well,
would have
tell us.
collapsed.
Well, okay. Now let's just put this out there. What Jacob's about to say is pure speculation. Like this is.
Well, it's
Hey,
not it's not pure speculation though because there are victims in this story. So there
yeah,
are
but for the
victim
purposes of
accounts.
not being sued, this is just. This,
Okay, yeah.
this is allegations. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, yes.
these are
This is
merely.
alleged.
These are alleged allegations.
Yes. So apparently, the people that own this new club in New Orleans had an old club in New Orleans that was connected to a club in Austin
Mm-hmm.
by the same name called the New Movement. And apparently, um, both of these people did the Harvey Weinstein thing where they were like, hey, come hang out at our house because they were married. They're a married couple. They're like,
Ah,
hey, come hang out at our house. You can stay at our house. And the thing is, both me and you know that is not uncommon.
yeah,
You go on the road and someone's like, hey man, you can just crash at my house.
yeah.
And you want to feel safe there. And they're like, hey, come hang at my house. And yeah, they would straight up be like, hey, they would try to like trade like sexual favors for stage time and getting booked. So the new movement in New Orleans, a bunch of people like spoke out like, hey, yeah, they tried to do this to us.
Hmm.
And so they shut down, and the club in Austin had to reference it and be like, yeah, everything there kind of got handled wrong. We can't believe this happened. And they changed their name because they couldn't use the same name,
Mm-hmm.
because now everyone knows, oh, the new movement, that's the people that own that try to fuck people. And those two people are who own Comedy House New Orleans.
Hmm.
And so they're trying to do it again.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I have
And
no comments on any of
it,
that.
it bothers me because I love New Orleans comedy and I know a lot of people who boycott this place and don't perform here and are like this needs to be shut down. And I also know people who like host events at this place.
Mhm.
And so I'm like I'm on the fence. I'm like I don't know, man. Like
I don't think I can support doing shows at a place run
right.
by people who are dealing in nefarious practices like
Yeah.
that. So,
But at the same time, I understand the feeling of people reaching out to you and being like, "Hey, I want to pay you money to come do this thing that you love."
see, this is the fucked up thing about being in the entertainment industry is being around, especially like the music industry, like I was and stuff, and there
Mhm.
are some like the entertainment industry is where shitty people go. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah,
hate to say it, but it's where shitty people, can gain power and then use that power to do nefarious things. And you're just gonna have. I mean, and the thing is like if you do a show there, knowing what's going on there, people on online will be like, "Oh, you're supporting, like all this kind of stuff." It's like, well, we gotta do, we have to make money.
right.
We can't. If you were to do that, you would literally boycott everything in the entertainment industry.
That's true. That's true. I think my worry is that I'm worried that these people will get caught up in the same shit. because I mean that's what they would do. They would lure performers to their house and be like, "Hey, you're in our house. You're working at our club. Suck this dick."
You just have to be like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that for stage time. Holler.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a rough situation. Because I remember I was talking to someone who's a very respected booker in Lafayette, Louisiana. Very respected.
Mm-hmm.
Like we both know him. We met him at the same time. I'm not gonna say who it is. And I was talking to him about this comedy club, about how I wanted to get in there, and about how like I talked to people, and like everyone I talked to, they brushed me off. They're like, nah, you don't, It's like, whatever. Like they weren't gonna help me get in there for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, they don't even have like anywhere I can send a video on their website. Like I don't know what to do. And he told me like, yeah, no, the people that own that place are horrible people, and I don't support anyone who performs there.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, okay, maybe I shouldn't try to get into this place
Yeah.
anymore.
And Freddie versus all in chat room. What's up, Freddie? He says this just about morals versus money.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like when you're
When you're struggling
when
for
you're
the money.
struggling for money, it's hard to say no to
Mm,
certain things. If some crap, like crappy club owner, which 90% of them are bad human beings,
horrible.
is going to pay you money to come in there. I mean, and do a show. I mean, is that? I mean, you are you separated from that? That's kind of the question. Is like you're just doing what you do for money,
Right.
like getting paid. And I know that sounds bad, like do what you do for money, like that kind of has connotations to it. But being a comedian, being a musician, actor, whatever, it's still a job. Even people think that if you're a musician or actor or a comedian, it's like, oh, well, you just, you don't have to, you don't work. Like, yeah, it's still a job. You have to giving someone um, goods and services for money. I mean, that's hey, kitty, kitty. See, she agrees. Goods and services for money. Um, and just because someone that pays you is a horrible human being, does that make you a horrible human being for
Right.
doing what you're basically contracted to do? I mean,
Think of it like
where's
this.
that line?
If I can jump in for a second, think of it like this: are the people that work in Amazon warehouses horrible people?
Mm-hmm.
No, Jeff Bezos is a horrible person. They just work for the horrible
But
person.
he's got all the money, and that's the problem.
Yeah, and so do these club owners. They have all the
They
money.
have all the money.
That is the problem. I am, I believe, booked in Mandeville, Louisiana, coming up soon on a weekend, and this new bar that just opened up that's owned by a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
Thank fucking God. There's a actual venue that's gonna do comedy that's owned and booked by a comedian.
Yeah.
Like that is the ultimate level of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how you know. And don't get me wrong, I mean there are fucking shitty comedians who turn into shitty club owners or whatever, but for the most part, like if you're being booked by someone that's an active like performing comedian,
Yeah.
they're not gonna fuck you over because they know what it's like and they've been fucked over.
It's the same with any kind of club, like when I was on the road, you could always tell the club owners, bar owners, whatever, the ones that were musicians or worked
Yeah.
for their money. Like, because they were always the ones that they're, even still today, like, there are, owners, like, when we do shows at certain places, like, they'll immediately give you your money and be like, hey, man, thanks for coming in, blah, blah, blah. Thanks for, coming to do this. I've dealt with some crappy bar owners that just like you have to hunt them down for your money, and then they don't want to give you your money, and then be like, well,
Absolutely.
you only did 56 minutes instead of an hour, so you were docking, like all kind of crazy excuses to not give you money. it's a horrible world to be in. And you have to be a forceful human being to get your money out of some people.
Yeah, I would argue that it's a harder job being in entertainment industry than doing a regular job. Because like if I was working retail for a little while, and it was so easy because I walk in, someone tells me what to do,
Yeah.
and I go fucking do it.
And
And in the entertainment industry, you have to hunt down shows. You have to hunt down people to get paid.
yeah.
You have to be hungry. You can have the most talent in the entire world. It doesn't matter. If you're not hungry and trying to book shows, you're never going to book a show.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like being on stage and actually doing what you do, whether it's music or, comedy, whatever, that's like 10% of it. The rest of it is doing the actual work. Like I work a regular 40-hour a week job, and then I write, I write my jokes, I do my set lists, I try to get shows. I'm on Facebook Messenger messaging people like, hey, you got a spot on this show, that show, anybody that's booking shows, whatever. And then doing this podcast and doing my other podcast. Like, it's a lot of work I put in every single week, and I rarely get to sit on my ass and just be like, I'm just not gonna do nothing right now. you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely, man. You know, I know the feeling for sure. I feel like a lot of people don't get that. I feel like, yeah, people see somebody choose a job in the entertainment industry and be like, "Oh, you're choosing that job so that you don't have to do any hard work." It's like, nah, man. I don't know a single job in the world that's not hard work.
Yeah,
That's why it's called a job. It's all so difficult.
yeah, but just because it looks easy doesn't mean it's not hard.
Yeah, absolutely. But this past Sunday was Independence Day, Jason
Mm-hmm.
Robbins, and we decided we're gonna talk about some of our favorite American things. It's a very general topic, but yeah, I think with these host shows, we're probably just gonna talk about our week, talk about whatever. And this past week was Independence Day, so we're gonna talk about you know some Independence Day related topics. What's your favorite well, what did you do on Independence Day? Let's start there.
So I went and visited my brother this weekend, and
I saw that. Didn't you shoot a giant fucking machine gun?
yes, I shot a fully automatic 50 caliber machine gun.
Jeez, how did that feel? Did your dick get hard?
Oh my god, it was the loudest thing I'd ever experienced in my life, and it was like it was fun. like it just
Yeah,
I got to destroy a 50-gallon barrel. Like just
nice.
lit it up and just put thousands holes in it, and it was awesome. But yeah, we were driving around the mountain. Like they live on in this. Well, they have this lake house that they bought not too long ago, and they rent it out, but they keep it like on the holidays for themselves. So we
Yeah.
went up there on the 4th, and it's at this lake called Martin Lake, or Lake Martin in Alabama, and it takes, unless you're going anywhere by boat, it takes forever to you could go somewhere that like by boat is like 5 minutes away, but it takes like an hour to drive there because you gotta like wind around these big ass mountains. And we're driving, going to just driving around looking at certain stuff because they haven't lived there that long either. So we were just kind of
Yeah.
driving around exploring, and we came across this place that said machine gun range, like machine gun something. And we were like, oh, that'd be fun. Go shoot some machine guns. So we were like, well, we might do that this weekend. And so we went and did what we were doing, and we were on our way back, and we passed by. My sister-in-law was like, I'm going to call him real quick. She called up and was like, hey, do we have to have like an appointment or anything? And the guy was like, no, I just actually just got done with all my appointments today. So if you want to come in right now, we're here for another hour or two. And we're like, all right, we'll be there in just a second. Made a U-turn, went back,
Oh, hell yeah.
and got to shoot some machine guns.
That's the coolest way to celebrate America's
That's
birthday.
the most America thing I have ever done in my life.
That's what George Washington had in mind when
Yes.
he fucking I don't know what he did.
And
Destroyed all that tea.
the guy had like 50 different machine guns, like Uzis and all kind of stuff, and he was like, just pick whichever one you want to shoot. And of course, we all picked the fully automatic 50 cal to
Yeah.
shoot, and the other one that I did was it was a Vietnam era, which they still use it. It's still in production, but they don't use it very much. But it's like the M16, like the Vietnam era M16, like the one Arnold had
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in Predator. And I was like, I want to shoot that one, and I got to
Yeah.
shoot that too. It was freaking awesome. And I'm not a
That
gun guy. Like I could give two
yeah.
shits about guns, but like just shooting that gun, I was just like, I felt like Arnold for like 5 minutes. Like, yeah,
Yeah, I like my guns. I do like my guns. I it was probably ingrained into me at a very early age because I shot my first gun when I was 6 years old.
yeah. I
I
mean,
don't
I
know if
was
I've
raised around guns too, but just this
yeah.
it just never like captured my imagination.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'm definitely gonna buy a gun eventually. Just for defense, because yeah, I feel like I'm a pretty capable guy when it comes to defending someone with fisticuffs. But
Yeah,
if there's another gun involved,
yeah.
I'm gonna want to have a gun too. But
So
I don't know if I've ever.
whoever's bullet is bigger wins.
Oh, it's not gonna be mine. I have a comically small bullet.
Hmm.
I don't know if I've told this story on this show before, but yeah, the first time I ever shot a gun, I was 6 years old, and I was watching. My mom had bought me the Indiana Jones trilogy on VHS from a thrift store,
Yes.
and so I was watching Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which means that I'd already been on the couch just sitting there for hours because I
Yeah.
was on the last Indiana Jones movie. And my dad comes in the house, is like, "Get up, get dressed, come with me." And we go to the backyard, and he hands me this little snub nose 38.
Hmm.
He gives me this talk. It's like, "Hey, this isn't a game. There's no respawn. If you shoot somebody, they're gonna die and they're gonna be gone forever. And now I want you to shoot this gun at that wooden plank." And so, and so I shot the gun, and I immediately get knocked on my ass because I'm 6 years old and I don't realize that I need to have like my back foot anchoring me or
Yeah.
anything. And so I just immediately start crying. And my dad takes the gun. He's like, "Go back inside." Like I could tell he was so disappointed in me. It was like, "I just wanted to watch Indiana Jones."
Same kind of thing happened to me when I was a kid. I remember I was probably, I don't even know, maybe 8 years old or so. And my grandpa was like, I want you to come shoot this gun with me. I'm like, okay. And we go in the backyard, and he's got this, he had captured Nazi paratrooper in World War II, and took all of his stuff off of him, and
Jesus
managed to
Christ.
smuggle. He smuggled one of those like Nazi. Was it a Luger? They were called their sidearm, the Nazi sidearm.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had one. He smuggled it back with him when he came home. That thing knocked me on my ass when I was like 8 years old. I was like, "Yep,
Yeah.
I'm done with guns. I don't like them."
Jesus, what a cool, like, what a nonchalant way to just drop in the, "Oh yeah, my grandpa's a fucking war hero. He
Yeah.
captured a Nazi and took all his shit."
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Um,
He told me that story when he was a kid. Like when I was a kid, that he volunteered for World War II,
wow,
and
rare.
went over there and captured a German paratrooper, and held him
Nice.
until they came and took him away to, I guess, POW camp or whatever.
Yeah, your grandpa is sure much older than my grandpa, who actually isn't my grandpa. I don't know if step grandpa is the term, but my mom's mom remarried. She's
Hmm.
went through this is her third husband, I believe, and his name is, well, I shouldn't say his name, but he was a Navy SEAL, like a legit Navy SEAL. And this old man just sits around all day and watches Fox News, and he watches old war documentaries, and he watches porn, and he pretends to not know that anyone else exists.
Yeah. Well,
And
my
I mean, when he
grandpa was
watches,
a avid Fox News watcher when I was a kid.
oh yeah, he is as well. But he is like, when I say he watches porn, It's littered around the house. It is littered.
he
Like
that just
I was
means he's
staying.
seen some shit he doesn't care.
Oh, absolutely. I was staying at their house and I needed to get on their computer to do something, and I opened the computer and immediately it's just like three tabs of X videos, and I'm like, ah, Jesus Christ.
So was it like, did he have like magazines and stuff laying around, like DVDs and stuff?
Absolutely,
So he just had some
absolutely.
like casual porn just like laying around.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's his house. What am I gonna say?
Wow. Okay
Uh,
then.
but
Casual porn.
anyways, he he was a legit Navy SEAL, and he builds planes now. He builds planes for movies. He built the plane. Do you remember the movie Flight of the Phoenix? It was a remake,
Flight of
and
the Phoenix.
it had Giovanni Ribisi in it, Jared
I
Padalecki.
do remember that movie. Yeah, I was thinking Flight of the Intruder, but now that you said,
No,
yeah, I remember.
my step grandfather built the plane that they build in the movie. When the plane crashes and they have to rebuild the plane
Hmm.
themselves, my grandpa built that plane.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
cool.
by himself. He just built a fucking plane.
Nice.
And
That's when men were men.
absolutely.
I can't do shit.
I keep saying he's a Navy SEAL. I don't know what he did because he still can't talk about what he did, which
Yeah.
is very frightening.
Yeah.
He was like one of those people, like he stayed in shape until he was in his 50s. Like he could have been a Navy SEAL probably well into his
So
60s.
was he old enough? Was he in Nam or?
I don't know. Let's see. He's probably 70s or 80s, right? So
So now he's 70. So if he was in, let's see, if he was 70, yeah, he would be able. He would have been in Nam because my dad is almost 70, and
yeah,
he got my dad got drafted when he graduated high school, but my dad had his when he was a kid, he had his cornea ripped off when he was
shit.
cutting grass. And you know those old school, have you ever seen those old push mowers with just the weird blades that spin?
Yep,
I
yep.
think he was using one of those, and like it kicked like a little twig up in his eye, and it like ripped his cornea off.
Jesus Christ.
And so he had to have like his cornea sewn back on, and like this is back in the '60s when, like, when they did it, he had to like keep his head like still for like weeks until like it healed up. But anyway,
Wow.
yeah, he couldn't go. He didn't have to go because his eyes was screwed up.
Well, that is great for him. That was the probably the best thing that ever happened to that man. But yeah, man, I really hope he tells somebody like some stories before he dies on his deathbed. But literally, like anytime anyone tries to ask him about what he did when he was a Navy SEAL, he was also the mayor of the town that they live in Iowa called Osceola. He was
He
the
said
mayor of the town.
he sounds like Jesse the Body Ventura.
He might be. I don't know what Jesse Ventura looks like. My grandpa might be Jesse Ventura.
Maybe that'd be awesome.
But
Freddy vs. All says 74 at the end of World War II. So that means it's been 74 years since World War II. Is that right? Is he 50?
oh my god.
50, 71? Yeah, it's been like over almost 75 years since the end of World War II. Jesus.
Jesus Christ, man.
God, I remember when World War II was like, back when I was a kid in the 80s, that was only like 40 years like before.
Well, it's shocking to me to think that it's so soon. Only 74 years? I thought
Yeah.
it was hundreds of years ago.
No.
um,
Jacob
I
does
didn't
math.
yeah, dude, I only had to take one college math class. I'm so fucking happy I never have to do math ever again in
No
my entire
kidding.
life. But I didn't do much for America's birthday. I just, I had some burgers and some sausage dogs
We
and
did the coastal thing where we had
crawfish.
well, we had boiled shrimp, we had crab
Okay.
claws, corn on the cob, and potatoes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's that's respectable. We didn't do much. I just spent time with family, and I spent all day trying to find Independence Day on TV. They didn't fucking show it anywhere.
Is that
I'm
even
so pissed
streaming
off.
anywhere? I was wondering. I was reading an article about it the other day because it was what 25 years ago it
Something
was
like that,
released,
yeah.
and I was like, "Oh my god, that's crazy."
They showed the sequel on TV, but the sequel is dog shit.
I never saw the sequel.
It's horrible. Liam Hemsworth is a horrible actor.
Independence Day is streaming on HBO Max.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, and something
HBO
called
Max.
Sun NXT. I don't know what that is.
On next, I have no idea. I have it on DVD, but I didn't want to dig it out. I really just wanted to find it somewhere on TV.
You know, that's one of those movies I never got on DVD or anything. It's just, but for some reason, I've seen it like 1,000 times.
Yeah, see, I get movies on DVD that I want to watch specifically on holidays. Like I have Die Hard on DVD to watch on Christmas. I have
Yeah,
Independence Day on DVD to watch on Independence Day. I just had no idea where it was, and I didn't feel like going to grab it.
I
So we watched.
remember watching this in the theater, and it was amazing.
Oh, one of the greatest movies ever made, Independence Day.
I'm not gonna
Abs-
disagree with you. I mean, Independent. It's not necessarily, you know, the greatest like dialogue or anything, but as far as movies go, it is a spectacle to behold. Like it
oh,
still holds up to this day.
dude, you put Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum together, you have a
Yeah,
blockbuster.
dude,
You put Bill Pullman as the cherry on top, you have a masterpiece.
I will watch Jeff Goldblum do anything for 2.5 hours. Like I would watch him make scrambled eggs for 2 hours. Like that dude is so awesome.
He's a very entertaining person, even when he just talks. You're like, you're a weird
Yeah.
motherfucker, aren't you? He looks like he likes to get peed on.
Me and my,
Jeff
oh, I was
Goldblum.
we did me and my brother watched Jurassic Park this weekend.
Yeah,
That was our that we watched that and Romancing the Stone. Do you remember that movie? Did you ever watch that?
I've never watched it, but I know the name.
Well, it was directed by Robert Zemeckis, and it was the movie that allowed him to make Back to the Future.
Okay.
And it's a really good movie, and it's still pretty good now. Like it's sort of a not necessarily. It's like an adventure movie, like in the vein of like Indiana Jones, but it's more um, Nathan Drake ish.
Okay,
Like
I would probably be into that then.
check it out. It starts off weird because it's about uh oh crap, what's her name? Let me look this up real quick. See, let me go to IMDb. Can't
To
remember her
look up
name.
details about romancing the
Yeah,
stone.
because I'm gonna tell you, it's a great movie to watch, and I think everybody needs to watch that movie because it is a good movie, and I think it doesn't get the respect that it deserves. Right? Because it's called Romancing the Stone. I think if they'd have called it like, you know, the adventures of uh, whatever, it would have been a lot better. Let's
Yeah.
see, what's her name? It's got Michael Douglas, Danny DeVito, and
Okay.
Kathleen Turner's in it, and she plays this writer who's like she's like a romance writer,
Yeah.
and her sister somehow. Oh, Freddy vs. All said he had barbecue pork chops on the fourth. That sounds good.
That sounds fucking amazing, to be honest.
But she, let's see, a mousy romance novelist sets off to Colombia with ransom for her kidnapped sister, and soon finds herself in the middle of a dangerous adventure hunting for treasure with a mercenary rogue. And what happens is, I think her sister comes across like this treasure map, or somehow gets a treasure map,
Yeah.
and sends it to her sister in the mail. And so the bad guys like kidnap her sister, and so she has to go down to Colombia with the map, and she comes across Michael Douglas, who's kind of like this American dude who went to Colombia like years ago and just like lives in the jungle. He's like an adventurer type of guy, and they just have this huge adventure like through the movie, and it's pretty cool. I think you should definitely give it a watch and see what you think about it.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch it. I like a good, I like a good Rob Zeck film. The
Yeah,
old Rob Zim. Zemeckis.
I think this was his
I like that
first
guy.
major movie that he directed, but this was the movie that got him to be able to make Back to the Future.
Yeah, I'll definitely put it on the list. That's another movie suggestion from Jason Robbins. Everyone at home, take a drink. Oh my goodness, we should start a drinking game
We
every time
should
you
do
suggest a
a
movie to me.
should do an open micers bingo card.
Yeah, there you go. Ugh. What would the prize even be? No one wants anything from
I
us.
don't know. Write a personalized joke or roast about them.
Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, we should put that on a Patreon tier.
Yeah,
Um, dude, fucking Richard Donner died this
I
week.
saw that. That's
How crazy is that? I thought he was already dead.
I did. I just knew he was old as dirt. Like, what
Yeah.
was the last thing he directed?
Dude, he hasn't worked since 2010.
Really? Let's see. Richard
Yeah.
says I've got IMDb open. We'll go straight to Richard Donner.
I looked this up the other day. The latest thing I could find from him was from 2010.
Huh. Let's see. Yeah, I think you're right. Well, the last thing that it says for me, director, it was 16 Blocks in 2006. That was the last thing
Look,
he directed.
yeah. I included like, stuff he produced or whatever, just anything he worked on. I believe it might have been on television as well when he did something in 2010.
The first thing he did was Zane Grey Theater, a TV series. He did one episode, 1960.
Yeah, that's a very long period of directing. 1960 to 2010.
Let's just go down
That's a career.
some of the movies that you know he did. Like he did, of course, Superman,
Mm.
and there were two different versions of Superman 2. The one that
Yep.
they fucked him over for Superman 2 for the actual theater release, and because he had filmed all of it, and they kicked him off of it, and they had this other dude, Richard Lester, come in and refilm half of the movie. Because if you have another director come in and do 51% of the movie filmed, he gets the credit.
Right.
So that's what they did. And then in 2006, I think it was, they came out, they put a DVD out, which I have, is Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. Have you ever
I
seen
have
it?
that as well.
It's
That's the only
much,
version of Superman 2 I have ever seen is the Richard
yeah,
Donner cut.
it's so much better than the theatrical cut. The theatrical cut is just like, what are you doing? Because it's such a different tone than the first Superman movie. Of
Right.
course, he did Scrooged. He
Mhm.
did Lethal Weapon 2, Lethal Weapon 3, and 4. He did The Goonies. The Goonies, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A movie that people still introduce to their kids to this
Yeah,
day.
like that is the quintessential like kid movie. Like it's
Absolutely, yeah.
so perfect. It's the perfect adventure movie. It's the perfect kid movie. Kids can watch it. Adults can watch it. It's like you can't get much better than the Goonies. I don't know what the magic sauce was in that movie, but I don't know if anybody else had directed it and gotten those performances out of all those kids. I don't think it would have been near as good as it was.
Absolutely. You skipped over his first big hit, which was The Omen.
Oh yeah, that's what he did right before Superman. Like you
Yeah, that was his first big hit movie was The Omen.
I mean, look at all the different genres of movies that he's made. Like he's done a movie in almost every single genre. Horror with The Omen, superhero movies with Superman, adventure movies, Lady Hawk and the Goonies. Like he did action movies, Lethal Weapon, comedies, Scrooge. Like this dude did everything. And I don't feel like he gets the credit that he deserves.
Yeah, and I think one of those things is like, a lot of people or very few people get the credit they deserve while they're still alive. Now that Richard Donner's gone, he's going to get a lot more credit, I believe.
Absolutely. And if they don't do an in memoriam with him at the next Oscars, that's no. They need to
I
have a
pers-
nice big segment for him.
I personally would be I think it would be remiss to not give him something that's like a
A a
you
lifetime
know,
achievement or something.
exactly, because he was never even nominated for an
Yeah, I
Academy
know.
Award
All the
for The
cool movies he
Goonies,
did, he was
Lethal Weapon.
yeah, he was never nominated for anything. They need to give him a posthumous lifetime achievement award.
Yeah, I mean, and think about how many directors today, if you talk to them, that they would say they would name Richard Donner as an inspiration.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you talked to Steven Spielberg and he was like, "Yeah, Richard Donner's the man. That guy
Well,
can direct."
they worked together. I mean, Richard Donner was kind of like he was Steven Spielberg's like right-hand man. He did all the movies that Spielberg didn't have time to do, which is
Yeah,
why he did the Goonies and stuff like that.
yeah, it's very sad that he's gone. I will say that when I saw that he died, I was like, "Oh, he's not already dead." but but to be
he
honest, still
How
sad.
old was he? He was 91
90s.
years old. Dude, that is a run.
Yeah,
Like I would be lucky to make it to 91.
yeah, dude, I'm gonna be lucky to make it to 31. Fuck.
So
But yeah,
yeah. It was a fun
it's
weekend though. I enjoyed it. It was a 3-day weekend for me.
yeah.
Got to eat some good food, hang out with family. Got to watch some fireworks. Not a big fireworks guy, but they're fun to watch occasionally. Every time I see fireworks, it just makes me want to go to Disney.
I've never been to Disney because I'm poor, but I am a huge fireworks guy. I can go into a fireworks warehouse and spend hundreds of dollars easily. I love watching shit blow up.
It's
And this
literally
year,
lighting your money on fire, is what you're doing with
but it's a
fireworks.
lot more fun, isn't it? It's a lot more
Eh,
fun than watching $100 bill burn in your
I
hand.
tell you, I'd rather go spend money to shoot a fully automatic 50 caliber. That was
Yeah,
way more fun than any firework I've ever shot in my life.
that's true. I would also rather do that. But yeah, this year we didn't even do any fireworks because my brother and sister-in-law and their kids all have COVID. Yay. So
Yay! Awesome.
and they're those people who's like, COVID's not that serious, and then they all fucking got it. So
Yeah, and dude, when I went up there, like you could not have asked for nicer weather. Like
really.
literally, the sun was shining, but it wasn't hot. It was actually kind of cool, like in the mornings and evenings, and even in the afternoons when like the hottest part of the day, it was like I didn't break a sweat a single time while I was up there. And like Saturday night.
Wow.
Oh, another thing we did on July 4th, me and my brother fired up some cigars and
Ooh.
drank some good scotch and sat out on the deck
Oh.
and just talked for a few hours. And then when it got dark, we moved up to the porch. Didn't get bit by a single mosquito the whole time I was up there.
Really? Oh my god, dude. The weather down here was shitty poo
Yeah.
poo.
Then I was driving home and I got like 30 miles above, like north of Mobile, and I just saw black, dark clouds on the horizon. I'm like,
Yeah.
yep, I'm home.
Dude, it was actually raining mosquitoes here. It was raining mosquitoes. I shit you not. It was, yeah, that's what
I'm sure
happens
it
in
was because as
Mississippi.
soon as I stepped out of the car, they greeted me like, hey, glad you're back. We're hungry.
Yeah. Oh no, exactly. I
Can
um
we get your
I
luggage
had
for you?
they just carry you in the
Yeah.
house
Yeah.
like white trash Cinderella.
Yeah.
They just carry you up by the dress. I had a little drinky drink. I forgot I didn't have my glasses on and I just poked myself in the eye. So that's fun. But I had a little drinky drink. I had some screwball peanut butter whiskey, which is the smoothest
That
whiskey I've
sounds
ever
lovely.
drank.
I'll take
Oh,
anything peanut butter.
dude, I've had everyone in my family try it. My girlfriend tried it, my mom tried it, my dad tried it. They were all like, "Oh, this is disgusting." To me, it tastes like a Butterfinger.
Hmm.
And it is so smooth. It's the smoothest whiskey I've ever had because I have some Elijah Craig, which is straight rot gut. It is so hard to get through, dude. I cannot. I have to pour 90% Diet Coke and 10% Elijah Craig to even get a little bit of it. This stuff, you shoot it, and there's a little burn, and then immediately you feel it like coating your throat,
Mm.
and it's like, oh, that's real smooth, and it tastes
Yeah.
just like a Butterfinger.
Nice. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know what kind
recommend
of
it.
scotch it was that we had. It was pretty smooth. It had a nice smoky flavor to it.
Yeah.
He had 3 different bottles, but I didn't see what it was that he gave me. I just drank it.
Yeah, that's me too. Whenever I'm hanging out, in a party scenario or a social scenario, people, just hand me whatever. I'll be like, thanks.
Yeah, my brother's
Uh,
well off because he actually went to college and ended
Scientist,
up with a
yeah.
good job. So he's got the good stuff. He doesn't have like Ripple or like Mad Dog 2020 like up in the
Yeah.
fridge. He's got the good stuff.
Yeah, my brother is pretty bougie nowadays because he works at NASA now. So
Oh, nice. So
he is also
we're the crappy younger underachieving younger brothers.
absolutely we are. And it's so funny to me because I've literally always been the smart brother. Like my parents are always on my ass being like, dude, you're the smart one. You have to do fucking better than your brother. Like you have to. And now he works at NASA and I'm like flunking out of college as a full-time comedian. And oh how the tables have
I
turned.
know the feeling.
But yeah, he hooks me up with some stuff, but he likes like the ashiest whiskey. Like you drink it and it's like, yeah, that tastes like a fire.
Yeah.
That tastes like you just got some ash out of a fireplace and
Yeah.
sprinkled it into this
I think
water.
they get that by they don't they like
Charring the barrels, yeah.
charring the barrels? Yeah.
Dude, you want to know the story behind that?
Sure.
How they invented bourbon was my ancestor, Elijah Craig. That's why I have a bottle of it. He is my ancestor.
Really?
He invented bourbon. And what he did was he was distilling whiskey and storing it in barrels, and his fucking warehouse caught on fire. And the cheap motherfucker kept the barrels and just sold the whiskey. And everyone was like, oh, this is the shit. And so they started charring barrels on purpose after the fire.
Wow. So you're a descendant of the person that's responsible for alcoholism everywhere.
Doesn't it make sense, Jason?
Yes, it does.
But I am also a descendant, I don't know if you know this, of John Brown, who I wrote an essay on in college, who I believe started the Civil War.
John Brown. I know the name. Like,
He was an abolitionist
oh yeah.
who started his own militia and was the
John
first person
Brown.
to ever take up arms against slave owners. He is my however many greats uncle.
Oh yeah. A man of strong religious convictions, believed he was an instrument of God.
Yeah, he was fucking crazy.
248 raised up to strike the death blow to American slavery.
Hell yeah. And so
Nice.
that is, yeah, bro.
You got that in the
Yeah.
back pocket if anybody ever calls you a racist.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's not going to help. It's not going to help because they're just gonna be like, okay, well, you're still racist.
Yeah, well, that's how it
Uh,
goes in the life of a comedian.
it is. I've been called racist more times than I can count.
Everybody's racist at some point.
Everybody's a little racist, aren't they?
Yeah, I would
But
think
yeah, we
so.
actually have a strand of John Brown's hair. We have this weird hair wreath hanging up in our house that's made of the hair of our ancestors, and John Brown's hair is in it.
Nice. That's not
Yeah.
weird at all.
Oh, it's so weird, Jason. I'm pretty sure my house is haunted.
Probably.
But yeah, we should go ahead and start wrapping things up here. I
Yeah,
have
it's been an hour already. Jeez.
oh yeah, and I have a mic that I'm gonna get to tonight, and I know you have a show in an
Yep,
hour.
got
But,
another
I,
show
I
in
have,
an hour. If you guys come back in an hour, we'll be here for Nerd Cave Retro, and
yes,
yeah, we'll be back in an hour.
yeah, and I have to get on the road pretty soon. I'm gonna eat some supper, and then I'm gonna go out to Belux in Biloxi, Mississippi, and hit some of that stage time.
Yeah, if anybody listening to this show, Wednesday nights they do a new open mic at Belux in
Yeah,
Biloxi, hosted
and
by Jeremy. What's his last name?
Jeremy Lambert.
Yeah, Jeremy Lambert.
It
Good
is. It is
dude.
once a month though. It's the first week of
Oh
every
yeah,
month.
yeah, for once a month. I'm gonna have to make the next one because I really like Jeremy and
Yeah.
he's a good dude, and I'm glad they're doing that because that's a really good place to do a mic.
It's a fun room for sure. You can just get up there and kind of work out
Yeah.
and style on them, as the kids say.
Yeah, it's a big room too, so it takes
Very
a lot.
big.
Takes a lot of people there to fill it up. So if you're
Oh yeah.
in the vicinity, go check out a show over there at Belux. That's free We're not getting paid for it. We're just giving them some free advertising.
Yeah. And it's free to go. So
And if you want to help us, you need to head over to ompodcast.com and help us out by giving us some money in our Patreon. We have 3 different tiers to choose from in our Patreon, and go check it out. And that helps this show because it's free for you guys. It's not free for us. So if you enjoy our show,
Not at all.
go give us a couple of bucks a month. It helps pay for, our Zoom, so where we can do longer than 40-minute shows with our guests. And thank you to Mr. Wally Phelps, one of our very first guests, who paid for our Zoom. And
Yes, thank
so
you
we're
so
going to have
much.
him on later in the month to have him back on the show. And I can't wait for him to be here. So, yeah, go help us out, ompodcast.com. And also, if you there's other ways to help us out, too. Like, right now, in my coffee cup, now there's not much left, but I'm drinking Brez coffee. I'm drinking the Necro Medium. What kind do you like to drink?
I love the Snickerdoodle. It tastes
Mm.
like my mom's Christmas cookies.
I'm going to get that next time. I'm getting the Snickerdoodle. I haven't tried it yet.
It's so good.
So what you
It's
do is, what is our code again? Is it is OM?
It is
Yeah,
our
it's OM Podcast.
it's OM podcast, baby.
Yeah, head over to brezcoffeeco.com, enter the code OM Podcast, and you get 10% off your order. And it's good coffee. It's not that expensive.
Yeah.
And it's better than anything you get at the grocery store. I'm telling you.
It's one of those things where you might, you should be drinking this coffee anyways. You might buy this coffee anyways. Use our code.
Yeah.
It'll be 10% off your entire order.
Help it. Screw the big corporations, man. Like, don't
Fuck
go to give your
Starbucks.
money to Walmart. Don't go to Starbucks. Don't go.
Fuck Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. Don't do. This is a local coffee roaster company started by some friends over in Pensacola, and they got their Biden check last year and was like, you know what? Let's combine our money and buy some coffee roasters and make a coffee company. So they made their own company, Brez Coffee Company, and it's awesome. You're supporting small business. You're supporting local business because Pensacola is only, what, an hour and a half away? It's very local.
Very close.
So go over there, even if you're not from here. If you're listening to this in Seattle, screw that Seattle coffee. Order some Brez coffee, have it shipped
Fuck
up there.
Seattle.
And you show them Seattle assholes what Southern coffee is all about.
How else can they support us, Jason? Do we have any merchandise?
Yeah, they can head over to tpublic.com/openmikers podcast. And if you're looking on the video right now, you see the soup shirt. We got a soup shirt that has Jacob Craig's very own face on it. And it's a parody of the Obama Hope poster, which I had the idea for it a few weeks ago. I was like, I'm going to make a poster with Jacob's face and call it soup. And it is officially in a shirt now that you can get at tpublic.com/openmikerspodcast. Help us out. Give us money.
Please.
So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Anything you want to toss to the people before we leave tonight?
Yes, I want to say that next week we will be back here at Open Micers, same bat time, same bat channel, and we will be talking to a local radio DJ, a local podcast host, a local host of live events, someone that you're all going to be very excited that we're talking to, because I'm sure there's a lot of people around here on the Gulf Coast who love this guy. And so they're going to want to see us talk to him.
Do you want me to tell them who it is?
No.
No?
Nah, let's keep it a secret.
Yeah, we'll keep it
They
a
already
secret.
know who it is.
Yeah.
Probably.
They might know. They might not. But he'll be on the show next week, and you want to be here for that because he's awesome.
Yeah. And if you want to find out who it is on Monday, then like us on Facebook, Open Micers.
Yeah, Open Micers Podcast, Facebook. Let me play our music here. It's at Open Micers on Twitter. My personal Twitter is at JPunktastic, and Jacob is at Jacob C. Craig. And of course, it's Open Micers. Open Micers on Instagram. You can find it. Just type in Open Micers. You'll find us somewhere. And I think that's going to do it. And we'll see you guys next week. Awesome. That was a good show. I like that.
Yeah, it was a fun conversation. It went
Yeah.
by for sure. It flew.
Thank you to you guys for hanging out. Freddie, Rampage, you guys, everybody that popped in and out. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Don't forget to come back in an hour for the Nerd Cave Retro Show. And thank you guys, and we will see you in just a little while.